There you go. Said perfectly. Why does the WebSocket keep connecting and disconnecting? Oh, whatever, I don't care. Heidi ho, what's going on? How's all y'all? Um, just getting back from having a lunch with my daddy, which yeah, it was kind of out of the blue. So yeah, that's why we're a little bit late today, but it was a good little visit. So there you go. Everybody doing well? Good, good. Glad to hear. Having a decent-ish day on my end, so I can't complain too much. Thankfully. Hurrah! And how about you guys? What is shaking in the world of the wild, wild interwebs? Trying not to melt in? Just look at you. Took off with my phone? Oh yeah. That's interesting. Run doggy run, I guess. Why was he taking off with your phone? Do I want to know? Was it drugs? It was drugs, wasn't it? I knew it. It was drugs. I think we need to move this thing a little bit here. There we go. Alright, cool. Close enough. What do I play, Rivers? He likes to steal things. Well, oh, okay. That makes sense. On the couch, he decided to play. Alright, well. There you go, I guess. Silly Poppy. Decided, fuck it, we're going for a run. I'm taking your phone with me. Maybe I know what it was. You were cheating on the steps, that's what it was. He's trying to get extra steps in for you. Ah, I see what's happening now. So now on the PC, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, today's topic is going to be a touchy one, a sensitive one. Just as with the article that I posted today. Bedbound last 2 days, only out of bed currently because new insurance for the fit. Ah, I see. It's a good year to lock in self-care. Yes, it is. Last night he stole my underclothes. Well, I mean, was he wearing them like Mickey Mouse ears? Because I could see that. I could definitely see that. But yes, like I said, today's topic is a bit of a touchy one. As with it kind of rides on the today's article, which I had a very hard time. I had a very hard time writing because, yeah. Hi, Kimmy. How are you? I see you. Welcome to Coaching Wednesday. Oh, we're doing good so far. Just had lunch with my dad, which was always interesting. It's funny to see me out and about with a fucking walker and some guy 20 years older than me pulling the walker out for me. Stumbled in, wanted to say hello. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you did. TikTok where a lady makes her dog wear everything he steals. Oh, I could see that being fun. But yeah, the article I wrote today, I had a very hard time writing because the paper was on ADHD in women, and it had to do with eating, binge eating, which is a sensitive topic in and of itself, but also I don't want to come off like, you know, I'm speaking for women because I absolutely am not. I cannot. I would not. But the paper was there. The studies are there. So it's important information that I felt needed to get out. How's a walker? Did it help? It actually helps quite a bit. I have been using it around the house a lot, actually, lately because I had a couple of pretty nasty falls last week. And yeah, It was kind of like swallow my pride and just use the damn thing. So that's what I've been doing. But it's handy because it also folds down into a seat. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So of course we went to a Vietnamese restaurant, and little sign at the front there, as usual, says, "Please wait to be seated." And I popped her out and I said, "Fuck that. I will sit right here. Thank you very much." Obviously not what they meant, but that's what I did. Also, I didn't have a chance to do my last minute overlook and revision to my notes here. So we may be a little scattered today, a little bit all over the place, because I didn't get the chance to go over them pre-stream because I was out. It was good seeing that article. Excellent. Well, especially all the extra stuff, right? With a lot of the notes. Goddamn words. You know what I mean. The coaching breakdown and all that stuff, right? So yes. So basically, and you know what, I will, hang on. Let me get the I'll pin the paper for you guys. Where are we here? Here. And we'll grab this. Now, again, this is not a definitive. Like, their findings are not obviously a definitive. Pin. Pin. Fuck. Dan, can you pin that thing? It's not letting me do it. Or Mama, please and thanks. Thank you. So if you guys want the paper, the source right there, it's ADHD and binge eating symptoms in adult women. It is a cross-sectional study with gender-focused theoretical overview. So again, it is not a definitive, but that's what the paper is, okay? So that's okay. That's all right. Normally it lets me do it. Hey, I see a Jazzy. Yeehaw. What's up, donkey? Oh, appreciate it, guys. Usually it'll let me do it, but today for some reason it wouldn't let me do it. For those on YouTube, you will find it in the description. For those in Tiki Talk, oh, apparently it went over. Hang on. I will grab the link here for you guys, just in case, for anybody who wants it. What's going on there, donkey? How you been? Tell me a story. Paste, you fucking thing. Copy. How you been, kiddo? There we are. Heading to Ontario for a few weeks tomorrow. Ah! It's okay, I'll do your job. All I heard was Mama. No, it's all good. How are we doing? Not too bad. Busy as always. Well, the wife is busy. Bought that store out in Sylvan Lake, so that's been keeping her busy. I've been trapped in the house, more or less. Went for lunch with the old man today, but managed to get out. But yeah. Other than... Hey, look at that. We even got... Look, Jazz, you even have an avatar on the screen. Look at that. That's fucking awesome. I love that they bring in, finally, the avatars from TikTok and YouTube onto Twitch. I love it. Haven't made it out to her store yet. It is a funky-ass store. You'll want to check it out. It's cool. Cool, because yours are in Jay's stream the other night, so you owe me. Domestic dispute going on. Yeah. So again, today is going to be a sensitive topic. There is the trigger warning of eating disorders and binge eating and stuff like that. So if that is something that is shit you can't cope with, that you don't want to hear about, that's going to be too much for you, I understand. I still love you. It's all good. But I should probably eat. Yes, you probably should. See, if I didn't go with my old man today, I don't know if I would have eaten before the stream. That is actually, here's a question for all of you. This pertains, and I've said this numerous times, working on dinner now, yeah. If you did not have to cook for somebody else, if you didn't have to cook for your family, would you remember to eat? That's a question for you guys. Obviously, Jazzy says no. Yeah, me either. That's the thing. And a part of it too is because of my alexithymia, and I have shitty interoception, which means that my stomach will be growling. Other people will hear it, but I don't think that I'm hungry. I don't necessarily feel hungry, so I may not eat, right? Yeah, Nadia says no. Sent the article to my mom. She said, interesting. I should bring the undiagnosed ADHD up with the doctor again. Probably should. Or live off pizza till and still weigh 600 pounds. Yeah. Further estrogen leaves the body seeks dopamine. Kind of a retrograde reaction. Or why many ADHD girls don't eat in their teens, 20s, but boys overeat. Again, that was more or less a study pointed towards women, female AFAB. I'll eat once a day if I remember. Yeah, it's when if I stand up and I'm dizzy and weak and shaking, then I know I have to eat. Maybe once every 2 days based on dizziness, finally feeling the hunger. Why I can't gain weight. Yeah, that probably has a little to do with it too. You're bad for that. Forgetting until you stand up and just about fall over because you're dizzy. Making breakfast now, but doesn't mean you'll eat. Yeah, that is a real thing. That is absolutely a real thing. So, let me see here. Let autism take control of eating now. So autism has sleep and eating. There you go. Estrogen protects the brain on the ADHD front. Yeah, so we've been scolded our early lives for those things. Yeah. Yeah. So let me just walk through some of this here, okay? So that is the first paper that I'm going to go over. Is that one there. Is ADHD and binge eating in women. Okay? So we're not going to talk about diets or nutrition planning or any of that bullshit. We're going to talk about what's actually happening in the neurodivergent nervous system around foods and why nobody has been really connecting the dots on this thing. If Nick can make shepherd pie, I'll eat it all. No, you won't. You know goddamn well that you won't. It'll be a war. It'll be you and I going to war over the sheppy pie. Which, by the way, she just bought potatoes so I could make shepherd pie. Yeah, again. I'm out of town pretended. I was gonna say, you keep bringing it up and you never fucking show up. You never plan to show up. So, it's kind of partly on you. Anyway, as I get distracted. Don't mind me just fighting with my old roommate here. I'll take that. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. All right, so we're going to walk through on this study here. Basically, I want to try and hit the key numbers and not turn this into a lecture because I know I can tend to do that and I don't want to do that. 2K for a ticket, better be good pie. Shepherd's pie? I don't know. Jasmine, is it good pie? I mean, it's enough that she and I will we'll fucking fight over it. Yes, fight over. Uh-huh. And you're right. No, not me. Hey, that's when it comes to the coaching stuff, I write down a lot of this stuff in like note form so that I can go over it and try and go through it with and get as much information to everybody broken down into layman's terms as I can. Okay, so let me see here. 1,438 adult women were recruited through social media. 140 had ADHD, 140 matched controls. Roughly double the rate of severe binge eating symptoms were found in the ADHD group. It was cross-sectional design with self-reported ADHD diagnosis, so casual claims were kind of off the table. Okay. The paper has two parts: the actual data and the proposed theoretical framework about hormones and metabolic risk. And those are different things. We're going to keep them separate. I don't binge. I definitely have disorder eating profile and show up to a lot of adult learning. While your kids have sensory needs, I shove my chair away from the table and I don't give a fuck. Well. Okay, so here's the underdiagnosed piece, okay? Women with ADHD present differently. Duh, we have discussed that many times over the years. More internalizing, more internal compensating, more likely to look like they're managing until something finally breaks. By the time they get to an ADHD clinician, if they ever do, a lot of them have spent years in nutrition or weight management settings, having their eating problems attributed to motivation, stress, or poor discipline. Okay? The ADHD was in the room the whole time, but nobody called it out. Yeah, yeah. Jasmine's like, uh-huh. Yep. Okay, so here's the Bidirectional Clinician Gap. The ADHD clinicians do not ask about food. Eating specialists don't screen for ADHD. So we have a bit of a bidirectional problem here. One woman, two systems, nobody connecting the obvious thing. And that's what the paper is arguing needs to change. So again, the link pinned up here in Twitch. On YouTube, it is in the description. TikTok, scroll up. Okay. So has anyone here been in eating related treatment? Say like a nutritionist, a dietitian, eating disorder program, weight management, or anything like that, comma, where ADHD was never mentioned? Just asked me to come back as parents need to see why it matters. Bet. No doubt. Work whilst I handle chicken. That's kinky. That's what she said. Mind if I handle your chicken? So I'm gonna guess that some of you probably have. I know I personally have, but again, not a woman. So there's that. We're over here. Buttons, buttons, buttons. B-U-T-T-O-N-S. I love buttons. Yes, yes, yes. I missed the question. The question was from 19 to 29. Dealing with children. I mean, that will happen. Have you been in an eating related treatment, like a nutritionist, dietitian, eating disorder program, weight management, any of that shit, where ADHD was not mentioned? It was never a thing they brought up. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, again, bidirectional problem. These are things that should be. You have not? Okay. As in, you have not been in the setting itself? Obviously, you probably haven't because you're a fucking rail. My GP tells me it'll work itself out. Started meds, dropped almost 200 pounds. It was dismissed. I just kept getting told to stop eating too much and work out more. It's an autism program. Yeah, one of the things that I hear a lot, primarily from the women, not for me, I guess. Yeah. Uh-huh. I fight to stay at 130, 135. Yeah, you're a skinny meanie. But I hear that actually quite often from a lot of women. And remember, when I say women, I mean women, girls, AFABs, those who identify as women, those who are biologically as well, that this is something that they have told me they identify with, and that they commonly hear. One of the first things is, well, you just need to lose some weight. As a teen, I was very underweight. Me too. Actually, probably well into my 30s, I was underweight. Without a gallbladder is even more difficult. I was told to eat more. That was the thing. My metabolism was kind of fuckered that way. My metabolism, my English has always been optional, apparently. My metabolism has always been really high. So I could always eat and eat and eat and eat and not gain a whole lot of weight. And then in my 30s, that changed. Got thick, hidey ho. Like, that changed big time. So 6 bites and I'm full and done. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jasa does that as well, but Jasa, being the growing child, also her medication affects her appetite. So that's a factor that we have to equate as well. So there's that. Okay. All right, so on to the next section, which is the mechanisms. This is why it does do the way it does do. Okay, dopamine and reward. ADHD involves inconsistent dopamine signaling. The brain's reward system doesn't get reliable feedback from ordinary activities, so it defaults to whatever works quickly and doesn't require effort to access. High reward food fits that description almost perfectly. So it isn't a discipline problem. The system is working exactly as you would expect a dysregulated dopamine system to work. Having an appetite for years and I'm still super fat. Just need to work out. Okay, I can deadlift 600 pounds, still 600 pounds, get my ADHD meds. And lost a whole ass human. Yeah. Brent is currently in what we're calling a revenge binge, enjoying Caesar salads, 3-day liquid diet, upper endo craving, salad the whole time, 5 to 7 bowls of them a day. Wow. And nothing else. Yes, just ordered eating in the past, both anorexia and bulimia, but not a program because doctors didn't believe us when we said we were having those problems after a soccer coach told us we need to diet at 5'2" and 123 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, no. Doctors are weird. Metabolism is rude. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. So, okay, question for you. 5'7.5". Yeah, you're about my height. 133.5. I am 100 pounds more than you, Jazz. And a lot of that is because I can't do the exercising anymore. I can't do the working out anymore. Right? So yeah, I'm in shape. If you consider pear to be a shape, I'm absolutely in shape. I'm in A shape. 6'3", 300. That works. Yup, pear is a shape. But I'm also somebody who has to be carted around in a fucking wheelchair when we go out to the mall, so there's that. Crazy fish lady. Howdy. It's so frustrating. Yeah. You would probably die trying. Yes, I probably would. I do my physio stuff. And still. Oh, it goes. Message Nick's about your condition last night. Can you get back to me? Probably been busy with work. I texted her earlier today too, because we have a thing on Friday. Oh yeah, by the way, no stream on Friday, because I'm going to be in Calgary all day. But I texted her and it took her a little bit to get back to me. So, alright, so I had a question, and it pertaining to dopamine and reward. Question for you is, obviously not for Jasmine, because it's probably not going to apply. Let's go to the mail, get those Rogers. One of those instead. Noted. We can talk. Say you go and get a family-sized bag of chips. What are the odds that you are going to eat that whole fucking bag of chips? If it's one that you really enjoy. What do you figure your odds are? What do you think a percentage is? It's going missing. Mm-hmm. For me, it's half and half. Probably, I'd say about 60% odds. 0. Fair enough. About 90%, yeah. 50-50. Yeah, for me, it's 50-50. In one sitting, 5%. Gym teacher put me in a weightlifting. You need to get the muscle turned out. I have muscle eating. Oh, honey, like the fuck. Now I'm supposed to be protein heavy. A lot of shit, but hey, if I eat, yay, yeah. I might eat 5. Depends on how big the family bag is. Bag of Lay's. All in one sitting. Crisper, gone. Probably 25%. For me, if it's like a bag of, say, Ruffles, sour cream, and bacon, gone. Right? There's a better than 50% chance. Lately it's been meh. I don't want to. Popcorn twist, gone. There you go. Okay, so popcorn twist in your case, right? But what I'm saying is, it's a bag of a snack bag that you really enjoy, right? If it's a giant size or a family size, thanks to the dopamine and reward system in your head, right? It can be gone and not think about it, right? So the structural pattern, skipped meals plus dysregulated state plus overeating, does that ring a bell? I guess it depends on how the POTS is doing. Need the extra salt to survive the day. Yeah, obviously there are going to be outside factors. Nope, due to food security trauma, I will make it last to the point when it goes bad. I mean, again, extenuating circumstance, I get it. That makes sense, right? But that is a thing. That is definitely a thing that's covered in that paper. So, part 2 that we have here, actually, we'll hold that off until after the self-care break. But, holy shit, Andy Katie. 62 months, oh my god. I can't even fathom these numbers. Good god. Welcome to today's discussion. It can't feel like weight or my body slows down these days. Gastro, another layer. Yeah, another extenuating circumstance to add to it, for sure. For sure. And yeah, obviously there's going to be stuff that makes you feel heavy, right? Try describing that to somebody and they may not get it. Or they may get it if they know exactly what that feeling is. You gonna have to make a 70 badge soon? I have to make it'll be a 72 badge, is what it'll be. Disordered eating, if I have to schedule eating, due to medication side effects. No. I would not necessarily say that. I mean, if you have to schedule it due to medication, no. That's not a disorder, it's an inconvenience. Maybe. Make one for 67. Yeah, watch. Unfortunately, it won't do anything because Twitch only gives out badges at certain points. At this point, they give it for. Um, some days I feel that way. Yeah, me too. They only give them out for like 1 year, half a year. Back, Nix is texting me. Excellent. Yeah, Twitch only gives them out at 1 year, at on the year mark and the half year mark. So, but I don't make the half year badges. I could, I should, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. I did one for 1.5 years, and then I did 2 years, and then I did 3 years, and then I did 4 years. My meds make me not hungry. A lot of people. Just wondering because I have food issues with textures, and as do I, and such, right? But that is not considered disordered eating. That's considered autistic eating, which is the next segment that we're going to go into. I technically have to eat every 2 to 3 hours pots, but I physically can't. Understandable. Is it the amount that you're supposed to eat every couple of hours? You're welcome for reassuring you. That's what we do. Is it not? But yeah, Eris, is it the amount you're supposed to eat? My take would be disordered eating is taking meds that require food, but taking them without consuming foods. But I don't think that's disordered eating if you're taking meds without food. Leaning towards, okay, fair enough. Oh, thank you, Indy. Oh, my Starberry, what a name. I like that name. Yeah, that might be dangerous. Again, I'm obviously not a pro with this stuff. Not when I'm not a doctor. When I don't know about that shit. Food is just hard. It can be. It absolutely can be. Lately, my big issue has been I want a certain type. By that I mean choosing not to eat. That may be disordered, yeah. Yeah, but for me, it's I want a certain type of food, right? I want a certain texture. I want a certain something, right? Lately, I want something crunchy. That's been my big thing in the last couple of days. I want something crunchy, but I don't have anything really accessible that's crunchy, except maybe like dry cereal or something, you know? So I've had some of that, and that kind of hit the spot a little bit. I want ice cream. I wanted ice cream the other day. I wasn't happy about it afterwards, but that was self-inflicted. That's more autism, would be sensory seeking. Yep. But yeah, that's what I've been lately. I've been sensory seeking that way. Potato dumplings with mashed potatoes is my go-to. It's a good go-to. My normal go-to is like a fucking PB&J. It's quick, it's easy, it's accessible. Most times, except we ran out of bread and jam the other day, so I was kind of like, no. Well, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's up?
I just wanted to let you know that apparently there was a field trip tomorrow, and I don't remember if the forms were filled.
I think they were emailed to us.
Yeah.
But try and remember that when Mom gets home, and I will double check with her.
Okay.
Because I was sure I saw them emailed to us.
Okay.
Which means that she probably filled them out.
All right.
And sent them back, or at the very least, she talked to your teacher about it.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Child break. Interlude brought to you by children. Last I must pick off here a little bit of crust on my sandwich every time. Jason does the same thing. Eldest is a sensory-seeking food guy. It kind of goes in phases for me. Like right now, I'm on a little more of a crunchy kick. But before that, what was it? It was, I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure you guys know what I mean, though. You don't open that DM until later. If you're talking to me, okay. I won't. Sour but not bitter like my taste. Sour but not bitter is my taste profile. I like that one. I'll get in moods like that sometime. More often than not, mine tends to be on the sweeter side. Or spicy but flavorful. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, that shout out there is given to my kid's Twitch channel, who she has been streaming on Saturdays lately. Her daughter does the thing where she opens a cupboard fridge multiple times. See if I do the same thing. Vintage, not arugula. I've been in the spicy food mood. Vinegar, not arugula. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to see what's there. If there's anything there. Right? That's the thing. So we did cover the ADHD side. They're actually good at game streaming. Yeah, actually, surprisingly. Well, not even surprisingly. Good at streaming, I think. Good at gaming and streaming simultaneously. Better than me. So, she's definitely entertaining to watch, that's for sure. Oh, she totally is. But we usually try and set it up for Saturdays, right? The rules are, I have to be present, right? Because according to Twitch, you're allowed to stream at 13, but you have to have parental supervision. So I'm there as the mod. She has my energy plus, but yes. Yeah, very much so. But things have not changed in the last 2 minutes since you last checked. Yeah. But you still open the goddamn fridge / pantry / cupboard / whatever and think that maybe something is there, right? Think that maybe you missed something. Maybe I didn't check behind that jar of pickles to see what was there, right? Yeah, gotta keep the kiddo safe, that's right. I have her, I'm keeping her chat settings that you have to have followed for 10 minutes. I'm keeping them there for now, because I'm present, so, I mean, it should be alright. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, we covered the ADHD section. Next up, we are going to cover the autistic section, which was, the paper was, if I remember right, about autistic kids and eating. But it does apply to a broader scope. Things, where are we here? You have to have direct supervision, so grape scan creep, that's right. My connecting ingredients or ideas. ADHD connects deadlines, and hunger is a deadline. And if the deadline is now, ARFID, close. And if the deadline is right now, see, that is one of the biggest things that I have a problem with too, is if I don't see food, but I see ingredients. But that means I have to make something. And then you stand there and think to yourself, and you're calculating all of the steps that you are going to have to do in order to get this thing from ingredients to food. And that can be a very long time. And you may chalk it up to just not worth it. So you grab a handful of cereal. Sensory processing disorder, yep. Watch Maitland and make sure they're okay, enjoying the fun. Because, I mean, there's no sassiness in my child whatsoever. No. Not at all. All right. Nope, not even a little. Trader Joe's ingredients, gnocchi, and frozen mashed potatoes. There you go. Yeah, you know what? Leftovers. Maybe that's why I have always been able to do leftovers, because they are right there. They are convenient, easy peasy, right? Huh? I have both, because sometimes I need to be inspired to make things. Sometimes I need chicken burger to air fry. I've done a deep dive with autistic kids and food. So I know so much, so much. Tomorrow's article, I think, is going to be about that. Be right back. Maybe gotcha. If not, hey, see you when we see you. Yeah, my wife has a real problem with leftovers, probably because her upbringing was a lot of leftovers over and over and over again, and that ADHD side of her finds leftovers to be boring, right? So she has to have something new, something novel. So that's why she's bad with leftovers. I, on the other hand, was kind of raised on them, so I don't really have a problem with them. Do have the inspiration spoons to cook. Make enough for a small army. I have leftovers and not have to do the cooking again for a bit. That's kind of where I'm at too. I'll eat leftovers, but no one else will. Didn't understand leftovers till I got with mama. Because you were in a home that didn't have leftovers. Like there was never anything to put away. Because I've heard that too. Right? I don't understand. Too many people. Yeah, okay, I got it. In my case, it was my grandmother, being the matriarch of the family, cooked so fucking much. Like, this, you gotta understand, this woman is like one of the chair people for the fucking Women's Catholic League or whatever in her area. By the way, that's my afternoon med alarm, so if you have afternoon meds to take, there you go. But yeah, she would cook for a literal army, and there was always so much for leftovers, so I grew up on them. Grateful to have blue collar that can eat them. So many reactions to my own food. Oh shit, meds. Yes, take your meds. Not enough to go around, so you eat when it was available. And I get that, right? What was the phrase my dad used to say? He with the longest arm eats the most, or something like that. She once tried to feed everyone. Hottest spaghetti that sat on the stove overnight, and the cats got into it. I didn't eat that night. Look for a new place to live. No shit. No shit. Alright then. On that note, speaking of food, hey, maybe it's time to go grab a snack. Or a drink, a glass of water, or have a little bathroom break, or something along them lines. But it is time for our little self-care break, so we're going to take a couple of moments, and we'll be right back, and we'll be talking about autism and eating right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
And it doesn't go to the be right back screen.
Everybody move. Everybody move. Everybody move.
Trying to catch up with the conversation you guys were having there. 17 years, 14 years. Sorry, what is it that... Ooh. That was 17 years ago. Got distracted. Oh yeah. Yeah. You and Dan living together. Oh, gotcha. That's right. I got distracted filling up my coffee and talking to my kid. So yes, I should probably take my my pain meds. Why do the good people put up with our shit? My wife and I hit 20 years or 25 years this past February. Married for 20 years. 2 weeks ago? Something like that? I was started because of a donut. Because of a donut? I guess I could say part of mine started because of a lemon. Or a lemon joke, anyway. I guess. Star Trek, even better. Even better. I like that. I approve of this nerdy shit. It's all about the nerdy shit, right? There we go. Alrighty, so. You have the frozen. I yeeted that frozen donut as a deer at the new kid in class. As a dare. Jesus Christ. Was she the new kid? Been living together for almost 15 years. Wow. You know, Nick and I have been living together for 25 years now. Right in the face. Yeah. 25 years, and now, probably TMI, because of her commitment to her job and whatnot, I may or may not have to look at other housing to take care of my crippled ass. But that's a conversation for another time, because I'll have more information. Anyway. Yeah. Unfortunately. I did. Thank you, Nadia. Because, like, if I have a fall, she's not necessarily able to pick me up. Stuff like that. Said, oh, I hated him the first time I seen her sitting on the sidewalk. Drove his... Fuck off, and you went, yep, that's the one. In 15 years, wow. So 11, 8, wow. Me too, but I mean, there's not a lot that can be done about that, right? It's something that may have to be looked into. Especially because the place that we're living at, like, we've been living here for 11 years, and our landlords are fantastic, and we don't want to have to move, and, because we have stairs and whatnot. It's like a ground level place. Yeah, it's something like that, right? But if we did, the amount that we're paying right now would pale in comparison to what we would have to pay at a new, say, a bungalow ground level place, right? With 3 rooms and a den or extra room or whatever, right? We would be paying just about double what we are now. So we are very spoiled that way. Oh yes, very much so. especially because the cost of things is in fucking insane, right? Unless we were buying a place, which may or may not be in the cards right now or in the near future. That's what I'm talking about. I have in-home care. That's the thing. But it's only at certain times and for certain things, right? So that's, I have to speak to my the case manager of the home care. I have to talk to them. Put up the VS here. Can't afford anything else. Yeah, that's a very common thing that I hear. Is, you know, we can't afford to go anywhere else because life, because this shit sucks. So yeah, I get it. But anyway, like I said, that's a topic for another day. I mean, 16 is 2K is not... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, I just saw a video where they reported that my city is now the most expensive in the province to live in because it fucking better not be. Well, I mean, ADAP is what's in the cards for all of us, right? Until getting shuffled back to H. Because I can't work. So them putting me on ADAP is pointless. Is absolutely pointless. That's a fucking rant you don't want to hear me go on. But yeah, it's, you know, now we're the most expensive place in the province. A one-room apartment is up to over $1,300. Like, are you shitting me? That is insane. It's absolutely insane. But whatever. Mine would be a home care related, right? So, break it down. Difference, and we'll stay on which one. I don't know if I have or not. If I did, I would have saved it, but if it's something you have recent, would you mind sending it to me? Because I don't think that I have. Yeah, please, if you could. Yeah, my doctor is my neurologist and my family doctor. Discord's fine. Yeah, Manitoba is looking better and better, isn't it? Good old Wob can do. Flat and no stairs there. Yeah. Like I said, it would be a home care related thing, so. But again, that's a conversation I have to have with the home care people. And a couple of my OTs. And my neurologist and my family doctor, they're both very adamant. They're like, no, you're going to be staying. Because yeah, that whole ADAP thing is bullshit. Just another way to cut costs and make sure all their buddies get money. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to go on that rant, so let's transition. We talked about the ADHD side. Now we're going to bring in a second paper because a lot of us are AuDHD. Thank you. I just saw a little TikTok thingy pop up and I'm like, what? When I can open TikTok and not mute yoga. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to bring in a second paper now because a lot of us are AuDHD. The autism side of eating does tend to look different. Different enough that it at least needs its own conversation anyway. So this is just a little quick study type note here. Okay, so this one is a scoping review, which means that it maps a research territory rather than producing its own statistic. So it tells you what studies exist and what kind of questions they're asking and stuff like that. So I'll give you the framework here. Not a list of like effect sizes or anything, because that's what a scoping review actually gives you. Alrighty. Okay. So here is the autism eating mechanic. Autism-related eating difficulties tend to cluster around repetitive and restrictive behavioral patterns, limited food repertoire, sensory-driven acceptance issues. Gee, that doesn't sound like what we just talked about. Rigid rituals. There we go. Efficacy. I could say the word. Rigid rituals around how food is prepared, presented, or sequenced. And there's like a profound discomfort when that routine breaks. Am I calling anybody out here? This is it's a control-driven and sensory-driven thing. And the mechanism is fundamentally different. Let's try that again. Fundamentally different from the ADHD pattern. So, ADHD eating dysregulation is often impulse-driven, dopamine-seeking, reward-oriented, loss of control, essentially. Autism eating tends to, the difficulties are often rigidity-driven and sensory-driven. So one is about too much, too fast, too impulsively. The other is often about too little variety, too much structure, too much distress when something is out of place. Different problems, different intervention logic. I already did that this morning. So, question. Which of these do you recognize in yourself? The impulsivity-driven pattern, the rigidity-driven pattern, or both? Which of these do you feel that you relate to? Nope, don't know what you're talking about. Both, yeah. Mine is definitely both. Both with the caveat, do I have to prepare for other people? That's my caveat to that. The first describes me, the second describes my 10-year-old. Hi Taz, how you been? Less rigid than my oldest kid, but both. Yeah, and see, depending on, I find that dependent on age is another thing too. Right, age and experience. Not too bad, nice to see ya. Age and lived experience, right? In my case, a lot of it, my lived experience was, I grew up on a lot of these leftovers, right? In a lot of cases, I did not have a choice. So I had adapted to that. That's what I got used to. Whereas my kid likely will not do leftovers. It depends what they are. Very dependent on what they are. If they're mashed potatoes, they're fucking gone. She will eat an entire platter of leftover mashed potatoes in one sitting. But if it's something like, well, shit, just about anything else, you know, she'll avoid it. My wife, no. We already talked about that. My wife won't do leftovers. Not unless she absolutely has to. Whereas I have no problem doing the leftovers. But sometimes I'm in sensory seeking mode. So I'm hunting down lately that crunch, you know, I want something crunchy. You know, but not like a carrot crunchy, not like an apple crunchy, like potato chips crunchy, you know what I mean? I'll just go cook his own mashed potatoes. Doesn't like cooking anything. That's funny. I'm the only one who's allowed to cook mashed potatoes in the house. It's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. But, Jay, we already talked about the part that you would relate to, and I already know where you stand on it, because we've already talked about it. It's almost like I get up on specific safe food before I go to an unknown environment. Lunch can be more hit or miss, stress-based on the morning, Absolutely need a snack. Hide them in my pocket, drawers, car, but it took years to do this to take care of me, but enough stress. Stomach shuts down, can't eat. I'll throw up, and I hate knowing it. I'm wasting food. That's another thing too, is wasting food, right? And I think again that may be a part of my upbringing, because we had so little when I was growing up. We had enough, but we had little. You know what I mean? So for me, wasting food is just it's a capital sin around here. Just read the description. Like crispy too, slightly overcooked modes. You know, I find that I do too, actually. So I can relate to that, Taz. Just slightly, just a hint. Currently, I have a very specific meal. Yeah.
Get up and dance. Move. Feel the rhythm.
Yeah, for me, it's the real challenge that I'm having lately is air frying French fries, because they're not going to get as crispy as if you cook them in oil kind of thing. But I think I have my method now. You know, when the double bake method, as it were. Casserole chicken, cup of soup, and a sourdough toast with butter. There you go. They changed them? Who changed what? What did I miss? I don't know what happened. They took the oil out of the fries. Who did? I was talking about doing them in the air fryer. My grandmother tried that, but added, how about just cooking rice if you will waste food? I do love rice and will live off it. I hate deep fryers. Yeah, not a fan of them anymore. Ever since I got an air fryer, like everything goes in there. And the Instant Pot, but the air fryer for French fries, or the oven, right? But I mean, I prefer them to do like in the little rotisserie, so that way I don't have to like open the oven halfway through and shake the shit out of it and whatnot. Didn't have much food growing up. It's taken me years to stop hoarding cupboard foods. Not plain white. I need deep fried breaded cauliflower, which is good. Cannot stand oily, greasy foods. I'm not a fan. No, not generally a fan. The only real exception to that, and it's not even really an exception, is when I cook bacon. But then I also like have the shit patted, right? The fries used to come with oil. Now they don't. Spray them with canola. Some salt, pepper. Done. Yeah, I always add olive oil to mine. So it doesn't matter what you do with them. I mean, fair enough. To each their own, right? Yeah, for me, it's I'll cut them down, throw them in a bowl, olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then toss the shit out of them, kind of thing. Oven cooked bacon, less greasy for some reason. I prefer to either oven cook or air fry them, because even if you overcook them a little, they're still really good. At least in the air fryer, anyway. More of a tater tots than a fry person. Way better consistency, even with different brands. That's fair. But like I said, I've been struggling to find a good way to get them crispy enough that I like them. Right? So I have kind of a double bake method. That's a chef trick. Now they come out dry. Your own because they are dry. Yeah. Well, that's why I toss them in more than a tablespoon of oil. I'll say that much. All right. Let us shove along to the AuDHD intersection. That's what the mayo is for. That's right. That's why I add garlic powder to them, or garlic salt. And then instead of ketchup, I will use mayo and dill, actually. So I have garlic fries with a mayo dill dip. Big fan. Okay, so the AuDHD intersection. Hi, Moon. I wave back at the corner. So here's the part of the research hasn't fully caught up with yet. Shocking, not so much. Thanks, Shay. Big shout out to Moon. For the people who are AuDHD, both mechanisms can be operating at the same time. Wait, did I already talk about this? No, I did not. Okay. Scrolls up. Okay, no, I didn't. Good grief. Okay, so what was I saying? Checks, notes. This is why I like to double check my notes before the stream. And I told you it was going to be a bit of a fuck show because I didn't have a chance to do so because I was out for lunch with my dad. All right, so both mechanisms can be operating at the same time. Okay, the restrictive autism, the restrictive autism-driven pattern and the impulsive ADHD-driven pattern, they both can coexist. In me, they absolutely do. Okay, they can coexist, they can alternate, or they can interact. Right, all at the same time, in the same person, sometimes on the same fucking day. Has anybody ever had that? Where you jump from one to the other, and back to the other, or to a different, all in the same day. I know that I have, and it's annoying and confusing, very confusing. So from the outside, this looks contradictory. Very narrow food repertoire, but also sometimes eating past fullness, which, all in the same 10 minutes, there you go. A clinician who only knows one half of your picture will treat that half and wonder why the intervention isn't holding. It's because the other half is still running in the background. Really struggling with the same shit right now. Hi, Sume! I see you on the YouTube side. Make sure you smash all those little buttons for me, will you? But yeah, the other side is still running in the background. So here's the honest position. Research on the AuDHD eating intersection specifically is really thin. Okay. What we have is the clinical logic of both mechanisms and your experience as people navigating with this. The research will catch up, but it's not there yet, right? Obviously. A lot of the research on AuDHD people and the interactions of both sides is really, really thin. But with so many of us being discovered, as it were, in recent years, there's a lot more research coming out. And again, this is what I do, right? I track down the latest peer-reviewed journals that pertain to us and try and break them down into humanized terms, which is why I write the articles that I do, which !Substack, if you want to check them out. They are free for everybody. However, the paywalled stuff holds all the goods. And by goods, I mean the clinical research, the coaching breakdown, all that stuff. Thank you. Thank you twice. So, anybody here navigating both patterns? You don't have to share the specifics, as always, okay? But how many of you are kind of sitting at that intersection? My thoughts are make a plate, eat 1/3, come back an hour later, bag or toss the rest depending. Sume is doing laundry at a laundromat. Betting for 2 people is expensive. Yes, it is. Moon is, yeah. I am. I'm sure some of you have said that you guys are over the course of the stream today. Geeky Girl is. Yeah, I absolutely am covering both bases. Us two between pots and the gastroparesis. That's right. Hey, Bus. Efficacy. Hey. I totally have to record that and put that on as a sample and just efficacy. Also, fuck you, Nadia. Because I know you're going to say something. Quite likely both. Couldn't hear you over the children. Question was, are you navigating both patterns? Again, you don't have to share specifics. You never do. But do you find that you're sitting at that intersection of the autistic, rigid, structured versus ADHD, impulsive? Efficacy, I'm down with that. Yep. Me 3. I mean, some. Like I have a hell of a VOD to catch up on later. As I said at the beginning, it can be sensitive because we were talking about, the first study was about ADHD in women and binge eating disorders. If that's something that is touchy for you, I get it. I understand. Navigation, you mean into a mountain? Brother, I have so many questions for the collective if you're... Oh, yeah, you guys have a lot in common in that regard. Bus is very open and forthcoming with a lot of that stuff. So I think you two actually will have a fantastic conversation if and when the bus has the spoons for that. Because I know we've talked about it in voice chat before. I'm glad I missed the first part of this. Like I said, I kind of know where you stand on it, so, or at least I think I do. Does the fact that I have the same foods over and over sit in ADHD or autism? That would sit more in autism. I will randomly change at any time and be stuck with that for a few months before changing again. No, that tends to lean more towards autism. And that is because routine, structure, things like that, right? Getting in a routine, staying in a routine, right? Having your... And don't get me wrong, ADHD people will do the same thing. They will have their safe foods, their comfort foods and whatnot, and stick to that. But that definitely lands more in autism, because I pretty much ate the same thing. Yeah, when I was going through college, structure equals suffocation. Yeah, ADHD, it has to be novelty, impulsivity, things like that. Overall. Asterisk, right? Sorry, what was that? Moon, I can't support myself. I don't know the actual information because I default to grazing when it's happening or just keep eating. Yeah, that was part of the conversation we had earlier, was about, holy shit, my words just walk away. Anyway, that relates to something we were talking about earlier. Did have a binge issue as a child? No, my whole family, and I'll put food on your plate. You will eat it all. Right? Someone thing to do a game reality, my own autonomy. I flip the script. Yeah, and I'm sure there were many of us who are of the same age, because you and I are about the same age, who had that same kind of upbringing, right? You ate everything that was put on your plate in front of you. And you did not leave the table until it was all done, regardless how much it was. Right? And I remember this not so much from living with my mom, but I remember it from like my grandparents and stuff like that, right? And even sometimes with my dad when we went to all done or bedtime, yeah? And then you had it for breakfast. I go as far as certain Brent's foods. I got rice from the food bank. It's not Uncle Ben, so I won't touch it. I have not had Uncle Ben's rice in fucking ever. That's a lie, actually. We got at the Dollarama, we got the quick packs, the microwave ones of different kinds. Or it goes in the fridge and you have to finish it for the next meal if you didn't finish it. Yep. But the adults picked it, yeah. Certain food, being forced to eat something not physically good. I cannot have rice with soy sauce on it. I cannot, because of an experience that I had when I was a kid. Didn't have to eat it all, but I didn't have an option. Either ate it all or went without. Only rice I'll have is Uncle Ben's. We get, I don't know what the brand is, but we have basmati rice. and we just buy it by the bag, like 5-pound bag. You know what I mean? 5-pound or a 2-kilo, something like that. Whatever. It's a big ass bag. So we have basmati rice that I do up in the instant pot. And same with stews and casseroles. As in, you had an experience, a traumatic. Basmati is the shit. I love it. I will go hungry over eating those because of a childhood experience. Yeah, I've got trauma over that. Ironically, I eat a fuck ton of rice, right? Or stir fries or stuff like that, where the sauce for the stir fry has a bunch of soy sauce in it, right? But it's not just soy sauce on rice. At least I think that's what it was. There's a particular smell that I associate with it that makes me want to gag. And yeah, it's just, can't do it. Leftovers were dinner until it was gone. It's funny, we were kind of talking about that earlier. Shit, gotta scroll up there. Leftovers were dinner until it was gone. Had to eat everything on your plate. Was a picky eater growing up. No, you were autistic growing up. And you had food sensitivities and stuff like that. Can you just update or prepare food ahead? Might need to be... Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't catch who you were talking to there. Set up a day to prep food ahead. That's something I have to do. Might need to be fresh. You can just pull the veg and the deli meat and the fruit and whatever. And just prep one day, or you prep one ingredient at a time. And you add... Yeah, like, that's something that I try and do. But of course, sometimes I have difficulty doing it. I try and prep, at least for, like, future me at some point. So I will cook up, like, a pound of ground beef, and then I will season it all, and I will add in, like, you know, the cooked onions with it and whatnot. So that way, because that tends to be pretty much a standard for a lot of things, right? Ground beef, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, cooked onions, right? There you go. You're set for putting it together for, I don't know, you want to start a fucking chili, you've got your base right there. You want to start a shepherd's pie, because we were talking about that earlier. You've got your base started there, right? So I'll just do that, and then into the freezer you go. Both of my parents got to eat everything, and it was too young to remember. It's apparently watching their shorties just not eat for extended periods because we just didn't eat any sort of beans or what's the texture? Yeah. Only eat rotisserie chicken because of undercooked chicken too many times as a kid. Full shred chicken for the doggos. Make chicken rotisserie due to a form of trauma. I mean, fair enough. This is also why I am, and I need to get a new one because the back fell off and the battery fell out. But I have got a cooking thermometer. So, like, every time I cook something, I don't necessarily rely on my eyes. I stab that fucker with this cooking thermometer. So I know that the meat's gotta be 145 for me, right? Or 125 or 165, you know, depending on what it is. Kicks in, it's not a little off. I want to eat. Yeah, I might have food issues. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. I know a lot of us do, and that's understandable. Nur and I keep grazing foods in the house because grazing is valid, you know. Fed is better than not fed at the end of the day, right? That's why around here we will not do that to Jasa. And that's, I think, part of the growing up experience of having to deal with that and a bit of trauma. If she's eating something and she gets to a point where, and like I said, with her meds, her ADHD meds, her stimulants, they affect her appetite, right? So we will never tell her that she has to finish what's in front of her. Can't eat McDonald's. People think I'm crazy. Dad had a new job. 2 weeks of food poisoning. Ugh. Blah. Before I get to your question, Jay, or comment or whatever, I had a shit experience when we drove down to the States, okay? we drove down from here in Alberta down to Albuquerque, New Mexico to meet some friends. And this is like 2006, okay? Just to set up the date for you. We stopped in somewhere in, I think it was Idaho. And we stopped at an A&W KFC. I didn't know that was a thing. And so I ordered off the KFC side. And my chicken was, to say undercooked is a mild understatement. It was like slimy. And that put me off eating chicken for like 2 years. It was like the most rancid thing I'd ever seen. It was clucking. No, it was under the skin. The chicken was like slimy moving. It was ugh, black. But yeah, it put me off for like 2 years. Okay, sorry. On it. Hello, Miss Maple. Howdy, howdy. Hi, Victor. Hey, could I get a shout out to Mrs. Maple, please, and thank you. Ms. Maple is a fellow Albertan, so this is more for my Canadian-ish folk, but she does. If you remember Steve Boots, she has essentially taken over his racket, and she is fantastic, does a lot of political commentary and stuff like that. Most recently playing politics, that's right. She has been playing politics. But yeah, she is amazing. I wish I could catch her more often. Our timing just doesn't quite line up lately, but I'm trying to correct that, but lovely to see you, May. How's things? How are you doing? Okay, I want to go back up to what Jay was saying. As ASD or AuDHD. Yeah, mornings are hard. Yes, they are. Where are we here? As AuDHD, can you push your brain past food issues because you don't want to be a problem? Because you're an adult and you should be able to insert reason here. There are times where I hear that in my head, and a lot of that is like traumatic kind of thing. Could you be slightly more specific, Jay? Like example-wise. Can you push your brain past food issues because you don't want to be a problem? Okay, what I am reading there, and just an example that I can give you off the top of my head, is if I have a texture issue with something, can I push past it? There was a time when I could and did try to. Nowadays, I won't. And that is more of a refusal to mask in the situation, I think, if I'm reading that right. Right now, I care for my brother. Most of my grazing foods are my brother's in most days. So I often don't have much. Okay, that's fair. I don't force my kids. If there's substantial amount left, I put it in the fridge they may want later. Or I'll eat it later. Youngest is a grazer. Her dad hates it. Still tries to force her to eat full meals. Nope. Same here. Jasa has always kind of been a grazer. A lot of her grazing choices have typically been pretty good. She eats a lot of apples, right? A lot of cucumbers, so there's a lot of like fruit and veg in there. I mean, she will default to the quick and easy snacks here or there, but my kids can decline food at every time. I don't withhold desserts ever. If they eat 2 bites of chicken, they're done. Cool, I don't care because we have all been there. And yep, got you there. Sorry, I'm just catching up here. I don't eat taco chicken because of that fear. Yeah, I don't blame you. Where are we? Yes, mornings are hard. Looks down at my chicken, all done, yeah. Go to the fight with a tuna can, I have 3 oh my god. Otherwise, life is good, it's hot out. Yeah, I'm enjoying that. Well, I'm not enjoying the hot, per se, part of it. I'm enjoying the warmer part of it. That's what I'm enjoying. Oh, God, May, I'm so sorry. How long do you have your stitches for? Situation is casual situation. Not forcing it, like a wedding. We communicate things before, we'll push through. Yeah, I think it's kind of situational, right? I just like meat. I don't want to eat meat. My household doesn't give a flying fuck, so I eat meat with pretty shit. Pretty much every meal. Wondering if AuDHD or ASD. That would be more of a brick wall. Oh, so for yourself, you mean? I mean, I'm gonna go with no. In your situation, I'm gonna say no. Again, asterisk, remember, I am not a professional. I am not a doctor or a therapist. I'm just some idiot sitting in a chair with a camera on his face. Take my word with a grain of salt. Anyway. Okay, so Jay, I dislike meat. I don't want to eat meat, but my household doesn't give a flying fuck, so I eat meat with pretty much every meal I'm home. I'm wondering if AuDHD or ASD, that would be more of a brick wall. No, do you mean in the meaning of not liking meat, or in the fact that you push through it and just eat the meat because it is forced upon you? Question is written in a can. Melted cheese is fairly texture issue. Yeah, cheese is a no-go for me. Some of it is texture, I know that much. Oh, I see a Shoost. Hi, Shoost. What's up, man? Something I don't eat. I'll eat something else if it means making myself something separate. 10 days. Ugh. It's a really bad spot. It needs to be wrapped up good so it doesn't reopen. I'm so sorry, May. That sucks. I'm sorry, my friend. There's usually a lot of things I don't like to. Incorporate more beans fiber to compensate with the organ. Number 2. What did I say? Just that it's there and in front of you, and you. Just a bit ago, discuss a possible future thing with Panda. I might explore. Yeah, Shoes, we gotta catch up. How am I doing? Well, I mean, aside from, you know, the daily of the MS and dealing with being forced. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna say ASD or that. I'm gonna say more dealing with the hand that you've been dealt, honestly. Yeah, but May, other than, you know, the MS ruining my life, actually not too bad. I caught up with my dad today. I had lunch with him for a couple of hours, and that was really nice to catch up with him. He has been living in northern BC, and he is moving back. I'm part of the reason that he's moving back. The other is because he can't find a doctor up there, so that's his top of the list reason, is he can't get a fucking doctor up there, so he's coming home to get his old one. Just throwing it out there. Oh, with the beans and whatnot, do something more like burrito and then bean and cheese option. Or deal with being forced. More due to my childhood. I don't. And being forced to eat shit I didn't like, and now as an adult, no one can tell me what I'm gonna eat. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's another part of it. Again, situationally, right? If we're at a wedding was thrown out there, that situation, you know, I'll find something else. But my thingy here. Quick snooze on that. We should do a snooze on that for 5 minutes here so we can wrap up this part of the conversation. I have no problem with a vegetarian diet. I prefer one. My wife's a mediator. Therefore, it is everybody in the house. But, oh boy. You also know that I don't think that's necessarily fair, okay? example. Not so much ADHD versus ASD, just more personal. Well, I mean, more. That's your preference, right? And having to deal with being forced to adhere to what everybody else is doing. Okay, my example here is, you guys know that my kid is picky, right? So I'll give you an example. Tacos, right? So, and we're talking like Canadian tacos, right? Ground beef, put in the mix, yada yada yada. But when it comes to that, right? Jasa does not like anything more than like salt. She loves her salt, or like a little garlic powder kind of thing, right? So when I cook hers up, and this goes for like anything, like stir fries, whatever, any kind of a sauce that I have to add to it, I cook hers up, and then I have to take hers out, right? Okay, prime example, we did a chicken stir fry the other night. So I cooked up the chicken, I cooked up the veg. I had to take her portion out. We had it with noodles, so I put her noodles, put on top her veg, her chicken. That is it, done. Then I can add the sauce, the extra seasoning, the spice, blah, 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 from my wife and I, right? In our house, that is, I don't want to say it's an accommodation, essentially. I am cooking to accommodate for my child, because she does not want to eat this other stuff. She doesn't like anything spicy, right? Anything seasoning. So it's an accommodation here. We do the same food in my chaos grilled. Yeah. I want to make homemade burgers for as in my family. Yeah. Make a burger with no seasoning before I add the seasoning for kiddo. Exactly. Right? That's what I was trying to understand. Yeah. Thanks, Shoes, for the backup there. But yeah, I mean, those of us with quote-unquote picky kids, aka autistic kids that have got texture issues, or food sensitivities, or texture sensitivities, or whatever, yeah, it's an accommodation for them, right? So in your particular case, Jay, I think that is just being ignorant of your preference, honestly. But that's me. How about picky wives? I don't have picky wives. My wife picked me, and she is dealing with the fallout of that. Sorry. Now you got to deal with crippled MS me. Hurrah! We accommodate a lot as a family when we're gathering a choose meal that covers most of us. But then anyone who doesn't like it, bring something they like. There you go. For me, the battlehead. Whoa. Battle is always she's eaten enough, or is she just sitting there in one place? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, about how a lot of us had to grow up with the, and maybe it's also an Alberta thing too, is the, you'll eat it all or you will eat the rest of it for breakfast, You'll go to bed without supper kind of thing. I do the same a lot of our meals, meatloaf, two little ones. Doesn't like cheese melted on his potatoes, so I take his portion out and then add cheese. Yeah, that'd be me too. I split between the ingredient. Shit on the table. Use it. I don't give a fuck how, but I'll pay attention. X likes tomatoes, Y likes olives, right? Yeah, that was me. That was me too. I dealt with all my childhood before we moved to Alberta. Yeah. I was taking a guess there. I know that it is certain. I know it's certainly something that a lot of us grew up with, right? Now, I said earlier that it was a lot of people around my age. I know younger as well. Squirrel. Minus the breakfast thing. Yeah, I do believe it's a generational thing too. Anyway, self-care break, because I put it off. Let's do that. Grab yourself a drink of water, grab a snack, stand up, have a stretch. But we are going to take a quick self-care break, and we will be back to round out what we've been talking about today and talk about what we can actually do about this, all right?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yay. By the way, hi, Raven.
Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked, the segment where we give you information that nobody asked for.
Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13, but don't tell Jay.
This has been Nobody Asked.
Did the air conditioner give you COVID?
Did you eat some gummy bears and couldn't stop shitting for 3 days?
Did you attend a funeral and get locked in the casket when getting a last-minute cuddle with Aunt Gertrude? I'm JP Schuster.
And I'm CB Mooster. And we're here to fight for you. Automotive accidents,
Medical malpractice,
workplace injury.
robbed a weed shop.
Call Schuster and Mooster at 1-800-MOBSTER.
Hey, I'm talking here.
Go home, Vinny.
Schuster and Mooster.
Attorneys at law.
We're high as fuck.
Who drank my sunscreen?
By hiring Schuster and Mooster LLC, you acknowledge that no one should act or refrain from acting based solely upon the legal advice provided by Schuster and Mooster LLC without first seeking much better qualified legal and or professional advice.
Hey kids!
This is
Are
a real
you tired
law,
of your
I swear.
labeled video games?
Not really.
Is the Switch just not scratching the itch like it used to?
I mean, hyperfocus is a thing.
Is your PlayStation more of a lame station?
Dude, that was a shitty joke.
Mom, Susie is using the devil words again.
Maybe it's time to try something brand new. From ADHD Incorporated Kids, it's the game of ADHD Life.
Great, another stupid board game.
In the game of ADHD Life, you get a glimpse of life with ADHD without the side effects of medication. Fun to play with the whole family.
Do we have to?
Why are there so many pieces missing?
I didn't get my school accommodations. Now I need to drop out? That's bullshit.
What the hell? My husband left me for a younger woman because I forgot our anniversary?
So, do we just go in a circle forever and never win?
This is fucking stupid. Take this game back.
The game of ADHD Life from ADHD Incorporated Kids. Also coming soon, Snakes and Adderall. Wait a minute, so you get to roll twice for 4 hours, then you go all the way back to the beginning and start over?
Who comes up with this shit?
Susie? Are you ready for Sports Ball? Live from the Neurodome tonight. Get ready for some sports ball action as our reigning Golden Acorn champions, the Mighty Meerkats, defend home turf against the undefeated Dark City Demons and the up-and-coming Cajun Corgis. Team blindfolds and spicy wieners on special during the self-care first quarter break. Followed by slam poetry after the game. Don't miss the Scramble at 5, only on WTTS Sports, Channel 80. In HD. Now that's Sports Ball!
Thank you for calling the ADHD hotline, sponsored by Squirrel Co., a subsidiary of ADHD Incorporated. If you're currently having a meltdown and need to scream into the void, press 0 now. Otherwise, please choose from the following options. To have someone activate your hyperfocus to start a task because your executive dysfunction has paralyzed you, please press 1. If you need reassurance because imposter syndrome is acting up and telling you you're trash and not worthy of success, love, or praise, please press 2. To gush about your latest hobby or hyperfocus because the people around you are already sick of hearing about it and you just need to show someone your hard work, please press 3. If you can't find the item you literally just had in your hand and need someone to walk you through the last hour so you can find it again, please press 4. If you can't remember why you called us, but know it was important, please press 5. If you're suffering from decision paralysis and need someone to talk you through figuring out what you want to do, please press 6. If you're shopping and need someone to talk you out of buying the 4,782,746 things in your cart because buying things gives you dopamine, but you just can't afford it, please press 7. To set reminder alarms to remind you to drink your water, eat something yummy, take your meds and unclench your jaw, please press 8. If you are having a meltdown and need to scream into the void, please press 0. If you need to hear these options again, because you have ADHD and have already forgotten which option you needed, please press 9.
Sorry, I had to. Anyway. Howdy, howdy there, Wolf Fox. Welcome aboard. And again, hi, Raven. How are you? We're just wrapping up our little coach session here. Sorry, Jay. I hit that one because you were here. I'm like, 13, why not? Ramen is good, but we have learned from experience. We don't occasionally add veggies or something with vitamins in it. It will end badly. I mean, fair enough. Comes here, now they're okay, then now to see if they're okay, and then acclimate them. Words. There you go. Efficacy. All right. I don't think I'll ever mispronounce that word again. Alrighty. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up here. I gotta pull it back to practical. Is me. If you didn't like that, how about Jay's song? Which one? You're gonna have to be a little more specific than that. Now that being said, I mean I could play this one. Oh wait, it's morning for you. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, wrapping this stuff up. Not dieting advice. You know, nothing like that, okay? 3 things that I want you to try and carry out the door with you, okay? Can I suggest a fellow Canadian streamer you may or may not know? Sure. I guess. Learn about kill veg bags. There you go. Shit that is individually packed is fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Anyway, 3 things I want you to take away from this. Okay? If you've been in eating-related treatment and ADHD was never mentioned, that is worth bringing up explicitly. Your clinician may not have connected the dots. You can do it for them. The science is out there. Okay? Take this paper that we talked about earlier. It should still be pinned. And take that to them. Okay? You're taking a piece of peer review. Well, it's more theoretical, but it's still peer-reviewed shit. Anyway, number 2, if the structural eating pattern resonated that we talked about earlier, that's an ADHD problem with ADHD solutions. Meal timing, low initiation food options during high demand periods. So explicitly planning for transition, executive function interventions, things like that, not a diet plan. 3. Sorry, missed my last finger there. 3. If you're AuDHD and both patterns are present, you might need people from both sides of the research talking to each other. Okay? That's worth naming to whoever is supporting you. Thank you, Gothic. So as we said, for AuDHD people, some of us do resonate with both sides of it. One being the autism, structured rigidity, patterns, all of that, versus ADHD, impulsivity, executive dysfunction, which, don't get me wrong, autism deals with, but, stuff like that. You can relate with both. The science is catching up. It takes a while for this stuff to happen, but it's catching up, thankfully. It's something that is being discussed more and more among the clinician community, as it were. So, the clinical systems, they have been seeing the same, let's try that again, in English. Not tripping over my own lips. So the clinical systems have been seeing the same people for years and missing the same thing. That's not any one clinician's fault per se, but it is a gap in the fields talking to each other. Okay, the research is starting to close it, thankfully. Your job is to take whatever part of this landed with you and use it to ask a better question of whoever's in your corner supporting you. So there you go. Hooray. If you want to read the full link, the full article, it's on my Substack. And that's just the ADHD in women binge eating one today. I'm going to put out the other one tomorrow, where autism and eating and such. I believe it was mostly pertaining to kids in the papers. But yeah, that article will go out tomorrow. So there you go. If you want to read more of it without my ADHD ass tripping over my own lips, then there you go. On the downside, we won't have the same wonderful interaction with all of you guys while reading the article. Unless you do it right now. And then, yeah, everybody can chime in on that. But that concludes our conversation on neurodivergent and food habits and such and stuff and difficulties and things. And I appreciate those of you who have jumped in and shared some of your experiences and troubles and traumas when it comes to stuff like this, because yeah, a lot of us do have them, right? Again, stuff like, you know, you will eat it, you will eat all of it, or you will go to bed, or you eat it until it's done, blah, blah, blah. Read the article, I already sent you a take on it. You can share mine, I'm good. There you go. But yeah, a lot of us did have that upbringing. And yeah, like Schust reminded, it's probably a generational thing. I'm glad that in a lot of cases, I didn't necessarily have that problem. Not with my mom anyway. Sometimes. I do remember it sometimes. But I mean, it didn't happen so often that in and of itself from her became a trauma. I do know that from like a little bit from my dad and one side of my like my dad's parents. There may be eating disorder. I forget who suggested that. I don't recall who suggested that. I don't recall a lot of things. Story of my life. Speaking of, here's something personal I can share with you. And a very angry father who would yell if we dared to spill a crumb. Never mind. Oh God. Okay, that's a bit much. That is absolutely a bit much. You get Total Recall might help. There you go. I wish. You forget to sleep? Sometimes. No, I went in for, I had another appointment with my one main OT, occupational therapist, for those that don't know, and had a meeting with her, and because I haven't seen her in like 6 months, I still have disagreements with my mom over how I treat my kids because I'm completely accommodating. I've heard shit like that before. My wife will rip you the fuck apart if you try and tell her how to parent. Reparenting while parenting is hella healing. Breaking the cycle is what we're doing, which I had mentioned last stream. Those mole rats. Go to Mars, get 3 boob lady. But yeah, there are a lot of us who are breaking that cycle, right? Because it is a generational trauma thing. But yeah, I went and saw my OT, and because I haven't seen her in like 6 months. She was away and then came back. So I was very happy to see her. But also, I was due for my next cognitive, which, if you don't know what it is, just ask Mr. Cheeto Man. I took the same thing that his stupid ass has to take every 3 months. But I take mine once a year. I scored the best. It was great. My scores were pure. Yeah, anyway. A whale. But by the way, there's no math on that one. So if he ever says the one about, like, I had to add this, divide that, subtract it, there's no math on that test, you lying fuck. Anyway, I scored worse on this one than I did in the last one, meaning that my time was just slower. But yeah, I had to go for my annual cognitive. And by had to, I mean I asked for it. Because I'm aware that my processing time and my ability to process is slowing, and I don't like that. Well, you're getting old. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that one, yeah. But that's something I did recently, and yeah, I'm not a fan of that outcome, but I know I had to do it. And yeah, not a fan. Anywho, thought I'd share that with you guys. I don't know why, I just kind of did. So there you go. Now you know a little bit more that you probably didn't need or want to know. So fast enough. To trip over English. Yes. Yeah, me too. The test in and of itself is relatively easy. They don't ask you to, point out, is that a giraffe? Is that a whale? Is that none of that shit. They will ask you which one. There will be like 9 animals or whatever, and she asked me like, which one of these lives in the Antarctic? The penguin, right? Which one of these, I don't remember what the questions were now, because obviously, yes, I had to draw a clock face. She told me a time. I had to put all the numbers on it, and then I had to put the hands in the position of the time she told me. She gave me a person's name and an address, and I had to failed again. Then I had to repeat it a couple of times so that I would remember it. Then she did a couple other questions and then asked me again what the address was and the guy's name and stuff like that. Right? I think I tripped over his last name. But you've been here longer than the rest of the time. Your society rushes us. That's not our job, living it. Amen. The clock-based test fascinates me. It is to know if I can read and write an analog clock. I don't know if my kid would be able to do that, to be honest with you. I'm sure you have to fuck out and go for a mental wander. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, where do I live? Yeah, one of the first questions. Who is the current president of the United States? And she giggled because she knew that my response was going to be a smart-ass one. I'm like, some orange pedo? Like, will you accept that answer, or do I have to give you the proper one? She chuckled. I don't know the money. I did more psychology. And, in retrospect, I kind of wish that I did. I really do. I'm going to take that test. Don't need to redo. Analog clocks are so rare now. Yeah, they are. However, I can still read one. There's good time, space, whatever you need. It'll be hard, but worthwhile. Well, I mean, in fairness, I got those, right? So that's still a thing. An even smaller chatterbox. I don't even know what those are, to be honest with you. They looked cute, I'll give you that. This one could have been identity incongruent orange Cheeto puff. All she was doing was making a check mark, right, to see if I knew it. So I just asked her, I'm like, will some orange-colored pedophile be an answer you'll accept? Check. Thank you. Always have it. I thank you for that. And I appreciate that. Hey, Lordass has joined. Blame the caffeine. Oh, God. So my dad took me to a Vietnamese restaurant for lunch, right? We had Vietnamese coffee. Ah. Holy bloody hell. I think I'm still buzzing from that. Called fortune boxes. Were you seeing through the future? I was smelling colors, okay? The caffeine of caffeine. Oh, God, yeah. I'm sorry. Vietnamese iced coffee is what it was. It was like, you took a sip of that and you're like, holy Christ. I was seeing sound. It was so good. Were you seeing the fingerprints of stars then? Uh-huh. Oh, yes. It was definitely a pick-me-up, that's for sure. Yeah, I was, yeah. Okay, I think I know what you mean then. I know what you mean. The little fucking flippity flip things. I got it. I know what you mean now. Yeah, zoom. Which, in and of itself, was impressive because I had my walker out today. So, yeah. I was ripping around that like... I feel like Bugs Bunny, but crippled. It was a good time. Yeah, no ice. Again, a reminder to you guys that I will not be here on Friday. Because on Friday we have a dentist appointment for my kid in Calgary. So we have to leave like at 10:30 in the morning. And yeah, we won't be back until, I don't know, around dinner-ish kind of thing. So yeah, no stream on Friday, so sadly. I'm looking into it this year, actually. And then Shoes, then I can go racing. That's what I'm looking forward to. Put, paint it with flames and shit. You'll have a chair nap, probably. I might. I heard my name. I was talking about racing chairs. I'm looking into getting one this year, today. Looking into getting one this year. So once that happens, you and I can go racing again. Just like we did in Home Depot. Except everywhere. Get one with some good tires on it. Make it accommodating for winter. Some shit with grips. Shit with good treads. That's what we're talking about. Something I could fucking take through the Jasper Pass. That'd be fun. I would have some great fun with that. I know a guy. Do ya? Well. You need to use some of the, not necessarily. I mean, you can save them for whenever. Doing wheelies. I don't know so much about that part, but... I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll actually dress up in my armor and go for a rip. I mean, then I'd be wearing a helmet at the very least. It's that one. But it does have internal padding. So, there's that.
I just wanted to be a real squirrel.
Nadia _269 wants you to make up some bullshit about a random item in your room.
Making up some bullshit about a random item in my room. Joisting? You mean jousting? I'm sure you meant jousting. I'm pretty sure you meant jousting. You didn't know that's actually a biking helmet? Yeah, that's really a bike helmet. For sure. It absolutely is. I didn't order it from a custom shop. I didn't do a custom paint job on it. I didn't put custom tint on it. I didn't custom the interior so that it would fit to my head. I did none of the above. It's actually a bike helmet. It really is. We're in a former care problem. Oh! Ooh! I think we're going to have to see what my options are, and then we will have to discuss. Huh. Yeah, you have my attention. I'm intrigued now. I'm very intrigued. That could be a lot of fun. And I bet Nadia right now is like, put it on. Mando mode. Fat off-road wheel. Attachment turns into a 3-wheeler speedy chair. Cool. Cool, cool. Now, I have no idea what my options are. Now, let's go. Yeah, I have no idea what my current options are for it. That's right, the answer is yes. I just went with the cheapest so insurance would cover it. I mean, that's fair. Allegedly, mine is covered. Allegedly. So that's something... Yeah, I know, yes. I know that's something that I need to look into to see if there is a limit. Because if there is, then... Alright, so be it. I guess the cheapest would be for me. I built her off-roads. Nice. Covered up to 4. Okay. On how Perry... have I done research on it? Have I? I think I have, because my wife and I have had a conversation on it. Have I written an article on it? No, I don't believe that I have. Get a special one. Nadia. Have I written an article on that? I don't believe that I have. It been not a full in research from what I can remember. No article, but discussed. Yeah, I know that we have discussed it. And I know that it's, my wife is, she's going through that as well. Right? You want to talk about fucking hormonal holy Christ. Yes, that is a thing. You know what? That's actually a good idea. That gives me an article idea then. Maybe that is something that I can look into. Let me just add that to my list. Going through that too, it's insane. Alright. It is on my list. And I'm sure Nadia will remind me too. So there's that. Something for me to look forward to. Potentially. I didn't think it could get worse. No, it is something that we have discussed here in my house. I know that it's something that we have discussed on the stream. But I don't think it's anything that I have done the deep dive into. But I certainly can do that. I am sure that going through Scholar, I could probably find a handful of peer-reviewed stuff on it. So, you know what? It's on the list. I will add that to my my research topics for the week. I don't remember what I all have this week. I know that I have one about DBT versus CBT for adult ADHD. That's one that I was looking at. I'm not sure if I'm going to do one on it, but I mean, I could. I might. I don't know. That's one of the topics that came up in the journals this week. Because, again, I get sent 140 of these-ish a week. So it's narrowing down to the ones that I think are kind of pertinent to the community. I don't know if DBT versus CBT would be a thing that a lot of us would relate to. Would? That good, huh? Quick look, 719 results. I've tried both. I've tried a bit, and this is something that we kind of discussed last stream, was CBT, there are parts of it that can be good, but I think, yeah, you want trauma, go down that road. I think CBT can be okay lightly. DBT was good for emotional regulation. Is dialectic behavior therapy. It's the better of the two of them, in my opinion. I don't think I have ever gone through any of it. I have gone through some cognitive behavior therapy. And again, I think it can be okay if it is done lightly. But if it is done to the point where you are being expected to completely change who you are in order to become more acceptable societally, then I think it is bullshit. Might just be my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Yeah, hell no. Exactly. Now, if it is something like helping to change your mindset on things, right? To help you look at things from a different perspective, right? To look at things a little bit more positively, then I'm okay with that. My therapist is trying to get me to be different from societal expectations as she can. Really? I think our therapist should talk. Never heard of that one. CPT in England, so I figure out what I need before I go and ask for it. Quietly walks away. Oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. There's a reason I sit on the clinician food issues. Hopefully. That's good. Hi, Road Toads. I see you over on the YouTubes. Sup, my man? How goes? How's tingies? How's your froggy ass? I've done something like it. I felt like it was too much. Convince yourself that thing that you're afraid of. Yeah, expose yourself to it. And yeah. Exposure therapy. Yeah. I mean, again, can be good. Can be really bad. Again, I think it depends. That's a situational thing. I think that depends on what it is that, and to what depth your fear is at, right? Hey, Coach comes in with all the cheers. Well, thanks, buddy. Fill the cup, knocking shit around. Any research into OCD at all? Not directly. I can. I mean, if there's something in particular, boom! Holy shit, blow up that cup, buddy. 69 months. Nice. I can, if there's anything in particular you want me to look into, I absolutely can. I can do that. Right? Because I only use peer-reviewed sources. Right? So, anything like that you want me to... Is there anything in particular you want me to look for? I'll do it. You cannot force anyone to adjust to a food. Fuck off. You need to listen to your kids. Yeah. Listen to your kid and their needs is 101. Yep. It absolutely is. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of us breaking that cycle, right? Being the generation of cycle breakers, you know, not being the ones that say you're going to sit there and eat that entire plate or you're fucking not leaving the table, you know, accommodating to what our kids need. My therapist and I are looking into scrupulously OCD, and I'm just starting to click, copy, and to the notepad. Oh, look at that. There's a spot right under Perry and ADHD. Bam. It is added to my list, my friend. And I think what I will do is, depending on how much I find, depending on how much I find and what I find, I could make that one I'll call it a weekend quick read, which is not paywalled at all. So it'll be like all of the clinical stuff, all of the coaching stuff, all of the parenting stuff, etc., etc. So yeah, that's what I will do. Let me just add a note to that. Make quick read. There. I can do that for you, my friend. I will do a dive into scrupulosity OCD. Is that like a profile of OCD? Because I've never heard of that. Scrupulosity OCD. Done some reading and went, this is me. Have you guys ever heard the term Otrovert? That was a term that I was introduced to this week. Is Otrovert. I ended up reading a couple of journals for the Perry and ADHD. Nice. OCD based on an intense moral code you have to follow. Scrupulosity is a subtype of OCD featuring intrusive, distressing obsession about religion or morality. Sufferers experience overwhelming guilt and fear of violating ethical codes and angering a higher power. I see the religious part of it. Relying on compulsive behaviors like excessive praying, seeking reassurance, avoiding religious sites to find temporary relief. Huh. Very interesting. I can never be a burden to anyone. I don't know if that was a personal attack or not, but yes, just recently. Oh, okay, so it, I wonder if this is like DSM-6 type of shit they're working on. Maybe, potentially. Effective treatments, exposure, response prevention. The OCD cycle, obsession, anxiety, compulsion, relief. Huh. Oh, Otrovert. Yeah, Otrovert is something that I had just been introduced to this week, thanks to my buddy Alex. Ah, road toads. Thanks, Toads. You're the shit, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, Otrovert. Thanks to my buddy Alex, aka I can't even think of his fucking name now. He's just Alex to me. I don't have a religious side as strongly as I love religion. If I need a new shirt, I'll spend days looking at the cheapest one because I can't spend money on myself. I mean, yay and nay for me. Although to my knowledge, I'm not OCD, so I mean, relatable, yes, kind of relatable, but not to the point where I think I have to do the for hours and fly like a pen. Yeah, no, I don't have that. Otrovert is a term coined by, Dr. Remy Kaminsky to describe a personality type that is socially capable but emotionally detached from the group identity. They are outsiders treated like insiders, people who blend into social settings but feel no natural inclination to belong to the crowd. Yeah, Otrovert. Alisaurolophus, thank you. Yes, that's what his name is. Alisaurolophus, my buddy Alex. Can't believe I forgot the name, fuck. Yeah, actually, it's funny because the video he did on it, that's what he was saying is, there are so many of us, especially of the AuDHD crowd, that are going, that's me. That's absolutely me, right? Me personally, I think that used to be me. It's getting heavy. Though it may kind of still be me, even though I try to avoid social situations like as much as I can. But yeah, the amount of us, especially the AuDHD crowd, that are like, that's me, my God. That means paramount to cost less. Always meals, less clothing, clearance only. Church women are meant to be subservient. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm gonna add that to my list and just see what I can find on it. Look at that, I'm ignoring my scholar list for the week here. Questions everything. Yeah, Otrovert. I'm not an introvert, I just hate people. Amen to that. I am an introvert, mostly because I hate a lot of people. In a Christian cult, so many because of trauma, but it affects a lot of other things. And I wonder, is it maybe because you were in that position, you were raised in that setting, that this hits you so hard, is because of that, right? An ambivert is a personality type that feels completely in the middle. Introvert, extrovert, yeah. The balance traits on both sides. Yeah. And I know a lot of people that are like that too. I've never really... I kind of considered myself an ambivert for a little while, but not really. Right? I was... Back when I was masking who I am from myself, you know, back in my 20s, I was a lot more of an extrovert. And I think some of it was... Thanks, buddy. I think a lot of it had to do with the job that I was in. It's something I'm looking into. Well, I will look into it as well for you, and I'll put together something, and I'll fire it at you, and then we can see what we come up with. I felt like an alien. My things were so different than people around me, and it didn't make any sense growing up. I mean, I didn't exactly have that feeling, but that's actually quite common, and specifically feeling like an alien, right? That's something that's relatively common in autism, especially growing up, right? You grow up, you don't feel like you relate to a lot of people. I think I am an ambivert. I think maybe I used to be. This will be interesting. What, looking into the OCD thing there? He's my youngest. Confused me for a long time. She is so social. And if she's done, she's done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and some of that too could just be masking, right? When you go out and you are masking to be out in public, kind of thing, or customer service face, as it were, and then once you come home, you're fucking done. That is it. You know, I'm crashing. Give me a chair. Give me a bed. I need to lay down, etc., etc. We've been challenged to do something for just me. It is harder when that he's free to do because I like it because blah. When that thing is free, because do I like it because it is free? Do I like it because I like it? Do I like it because I have to fight to enjoy it? Or do I actually like it? Yeah. Sorry, I had to slow down my reading on that one to know to mentally put in the pauses there for myself. But I get it. Never felt like I belong anywhere or relate to anybody. Somewhat as a kid, more so as an adult. My case, demon, walking around humans. Me, customer service face all day long, you get home and crash. Yeah. Masking, my friend. That's all she is. Right? When people ask me what is masking like, simplest answer I tell them is think of customer service voice, but dial it up to 15. Right? Did you know I have a masking emote? Masking emoji. It's almost 7 p.m. for me. I've been at work since 4 a.m. You're still at work? Jesus, Toads. I thought you were at home already. Never heard of it. No, of course not. Seems like it at home though. It sits in the computer for a couple hours. And she's in a room for a couple of hours. Yeah, my kid does that too. Walking by the beach, free. Do I like it because free? Because pretty rocks and water. Can I just enjoy it? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, I've been having a bit of a struggle. And it's not necessarily related to that, but just trying to find a game that I enjoy, something to relax with, right? I've been struggling to find something that I'm like attaching to. Currently, it's like Frostpunk 2. I like that game, but can I attach to it for a while? I don't know, I'm having a bit of difficulty. Because, you know, I can't really get into something super active because, well, this fucking hand, right? I do have a controller, but, like, I can't really use it too well, kind of thing. Maybe I'll try and get, I don't know, the new Lego Batman or something. Game relax, do those two things go together? Yes, they absolutely can. They totally can, Jay. Like driving a car. Do you not find Forza kind of relaxing? Sort of, in any way? And really think about it. Really think about it. What part of the controller is hard? The fact that my hand closes like this. And that I can't hit the buttons as quickly. Like these ones back here, they're harder for me to push now. Right? The trigger button's up top on the left. And like I have a really, get over here. I have a really hard time with this one because of my thumb, right? So any of the buttons that my left hand needs to use, I have difficulty with them. The driving around is relaxing. The races and challenges, not so much. Which is why I set the difficulty to preschooler. There's a 3D printable accessory. Is there? Why did I say that like I'm surprised? Oh god, if you find that, that's hilarious. Word? What word? Well, did I miss a word? I hope I didn't miss a word. I'm off to make supper for the kiddo. Talking soon? Yeah, thanks for hanging around, Miss Maple. Again, big shout out to you and all that you do. In the country, don't bring everybody, roll down the windows. Singularly deaf person. Word? Word. There you go. Actually, that's something that I should probably do as well. It is getting to that time. What do we got? Let me just find something here. We'll just see if this works. There's a ton of 3D printer mods for control. Are you looking on like Thingiverse or did you just do like a Google search kind of thing? Because I mean, I could probably just do that. I was just like 3D print for accessories. Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking awesome, honestly. Where are you? Not that one. This one. All right, bear with me just a second. There we go. All right. You probably try to literally hate driving. Well, fun. Well, thank you. Follow a few people. Gotcha. Yeah, I follow a shit ton too. Maybe it's something I could look into. But anyway, all right. We're gonna bounce because I have to, as was pointed out, I should probably get some food going for my kid, kind of thing. Plan out for that and such. So as always, I thank you all for being here. Reminder again, we will not be here on Friday because I have my kid's got an appointment in Calgary that we have to take her to. So I may or may not show up on Saturday just to overcompensate. Maybe, I don't know. I make no promise. I guess we will see what the body is feeling that day. Appreciate you. Appreciate every one of you guys. And yeah, it was good to catch you too, Taz. It's great to see you again. I hope to see you again soon. I'm hoping I will be here Sunday at the very least. Again, body willing. You guys know how that goes. But yeah, until then, drink your water, take your meds, be kind to yourself, and I will see you guys soon. If not, catch you in the Discord, alright? Until then, ciao for now, baby.